Okay, here we are. Hey guys, it's Ray, the gray-haired guy in a gi, and gonna have a conversation with someone who I've never met. I don't even know, so I have to find out all the information. And I'll tell you quickly how this story started. Besides me going to your fantastic event, I was in a
Thank
Tim Hortons and I ran into my friend Jack Cameron, and he mentioned about iron grappling. And I think he was a bit confused because he thought there was a lady that started it that never did jujitsu before. And I'm like, oh my God, that'd be an amazing interview. And then I found out that it's not quite correct. And anyway, I got to find out all the details. So, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. First of all, thank you so much, Ray. Like you said, we haven't met before, but I hope we do in the future. Uh, I want to clear this from the start. I'm pretty new in the community. I'm
Yep,
pretty new in the city. It's been like 3 years. I'm living in Halifax, and I'm part of the jiu-jitsu community from like almost 2 years, you can say. So if
perfect.
I'm missing out some big names or I'm missing out the scene, please forgive me on that.
That's okay. I'll
Uh,
help you out with anything. So what's your name and where are you from?
My name is Harvinder Singh. You can call me Harv. I train
Her?
at Halifax Jiu-Jitsu Society under
Yes,
Joe
great
Gaikwad.
spot.
Yes, I've been competing last 2025, the full year. I competed all over Canada wherever I could. Uh, Still being a new athlete, I couldn't get enough of it. I was competing everywhere I could, but I still wanted to do more.
Right.
So I thought, let's do some blue belt stuff.
That's
Why
awesome.
not
That's
create your
awesome.
own promotion? So that's how it started with. Uh, I'm still processing everything what's happening. There are some like long-term plans, some short-term plans. Of course, we will talk about those further.
Oh, for
Uh,
sure.
but I'm saying it's all coming out of uh, giving it back to the community and trying to stay connected, trying to uh, give more time to just as much as I can. And
Sure. Well,
there's
tell you what,
there's
we'll
limited
we'll
opportunity
uh we'll
to
rewind a
train.
little bit because I always like to know a little bit of history because I love history. So you've never done Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu before. So how did you get started in it?
I've been watching UFC and everything from like last 4 years, I would say.
Yep.
Always wanted to do something regarding that. I'm from Punjab, by the way, in India.
Yep.
So we have
Wonderful.
grappling stuff in there. Never done that either. Any it's called kabaddi. It's like a form of grappling. We
Yes.
have a rich wrestling culture as well, but it's kind of like getting lost somewhere in the fates of cricket, you can say.
Yeah, well
But
that's such an ancient form of martial arts. I mean,
definitely,
it's
I mean, we
it's
do it in mud, so it's a little bit
yep.
different than the mat wrestling. But the athletes are coming up now. People are getting interested in mat wrestling more than the mud wrestling. So
Yes.
you see a lot of Indians coming up in big stages in wrestling. So back to my jiu-jitsu journey. It's just I always wanted to try something in martial arts, but when I moved to Halifax, I was kind of like I lived in Vancouver for 4 years. So
Okay.
with no friends, I was kind of like drinking beers everywhere.
That's all right. Were you
So
going to
one day I got
university, were you?
hungover and I was like, okay, this is the thing I want to do for a really long time. I gotta get on there. And I searched the gyms nearby me. So the nearest gym popped up was Halifax Brazilian Society. And I
Yep.
started looking into the coaches' names. I come across Chris Kleidas. He
Yeah. Oh yeah.
is a locally and he been into UFC.
Oh
Then
yeah, he's a legend. He's a local
yeah,
legend
I
too.
would
Yeah.
say TJ Grant. When I saw his highlights and the whole
Another
thing
amazing
came
person.
up, and I was like, man, I gotta go to this gym. I mean, Halifax is like have so much rich MMA because I was thinking like, oh, I was coming from a big city. There were more gyms and everything. I
Yep.
couldn't do it there, so now I'm in Halifax. I'm like, maybe there's not many, but when I started looking into like the local talent here, I found there's so many legends who made it up to the big leagues and everything, and that
Yep.
kind of like be like, okay, I gotta go there today, and I went there, felt amazing, like every other person would feel doing jiu-jitsu the first time, and I myself kind of like a competitive person, so I
Yep.
was like, okay, I gotta compete in it. Then after a month of training, I competed in something called Summit that happened in Truro. I still don't know who organized it.
Yep.
So I came up with the gold, and that kind of got me hooked with the competing a lot. I did competed every weekend. You can say the time I was a white belt. So Yeah, I mean,
That's
I have still
fantastic
have.
because, a lot of white belts, when they first start out, or a lot of new people, they don't get into competition because, of course, they're a bit nervous of it and stuff. I mean, some do, but a lot don't. So for yourself to start getting in competition almost right away and go is that, man, that's a testament to you. That's fantastic. You know,
Thank you.
you're
Yeah,
welcome.
I mean, exams kind of excites me, but
Yeah,
would make me nervous because you can like, even if you didn't study and you end up doing good marks, it kind of gives you a different kind of kick, I would say.
sure. So
So
were you going to university, or are you in your university here, or you're all done
no,
that?
I'm a drop off, I would say.
Okay,
I
that's all
came
right.
here on a study permit in Vancouver. I worked with my background is I worked for a security company for like last 6 years.
Yep,
I, if you ever know, there's a word called floor walker. The people yeah, security people, what they're like,
that's me. Retail loss prevention is what I used to do.
come
Yeah.
on, you do the same thing.
We're talking early 1990s, back when you could grab people, put them in chokeholds and all that stuff.
I can show you some videos. That's so
Yeah,
awesome. I did that
I
for
did that
4 years
for
straight
years.
on Vancouver, on Hastings in Surrey. Those were
Yeah,
days. I think that's how I were not, I mean, nervous going into the jiu-jitsu and everything, because I was like, okay, it's still controlled, right? Because
yes.
I did get down to those bad situations, you would say, conflicting
Oh,
situations.
yeah.
Yeah, and those you can't even predict, like people have knives, people have
I
needles.
always tell people in situations like that, when you're a police officer, most people, not all, but most people think second about attacking or striking a police officer. But when you're working as a security guard, retail investigations, floor walker, people think nothing of trying to take a swing at you. And I've had so many situations. And I used to also work as a clinical emergency response team member at the Nova Scotia Hospital for on the psychiatric unit. That's for the criminally insane. So that time with working with that, as well as my experience in retail investigations, man, it really made it. And that was years ago, by the way. It was in the 90s. So, but really made a big difference in what you do in martial arts and how you apply it. And so, getting back to what you were saying is most people, you try to, control somebody. Most people don't think about taking a swing at you or anything like that. They don't care. So you're at high risk. That job is very high risk.
Yes, especially saying in Vancouver, if you ever heard, there's some streets, I mean, those are took over by, it harmed a lot of businesses.
Okay.
So our job is kind of like you can understand, it's a crucial job, but don't get enough credit.
Right.
But I did that for first 4 years. Then I moved in here for a managerial, operational role. I did that for 3 years. But I'm happy to say I'm pursuing jiu-jitsu kind of full time now. And
Awesome.
yes, I
Awesome.
have other ventures going on, but my most of the time goes into organizing jiu-jitsu, and I'm really investing my time and everything I got right now in this, because I deeply believe Halifax have like a really good talent, and we can, you know, show everybody that talent and make something good out of it.
That's awesome. It's interesting because you said in Vancouver. So you are in the two sides, Vancouver and Nova Scotia, that have huge Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu history. Because in Vancouver, they had Marco Soares, who was one of the first black belts to open a school in Canada. And here in Nova Scotia, we had the first Canadian to ever leave Canada and travel to Brazil and bring back Brazilian instructors, including Carlos Gracie Jr., who founded the IBJJF, and a number of other black belts. Back in the mid 90s, they were here teaching in Truro, Nova Scotia. And so it's very interesting with Nova Scotia, say Truro, and Vancouver. You had two main Brazilian jiu-jitsu things, and throughout the middle there wasn't a lot. So I mean, it's I just love history, so history of martial arts. So it's
Yeah, me too. I mean, like I said, it's been really like probably like 20 months I haven't started training, so I'm still learning about a lot of new legends, uh, even like in jiu-jitsu, or we can say locally.
Yep.
because
We have a lot of local
I
legends,
have a
people
lot
that
to learn.
are just fantastic. We have, and I think I have it recorded how many black belts we have in Nova Scotia, because obviously at one time we didn't have any. And I'm going to get this probably wrong. I have to look on my list, but I think we have 123 or 24 black belts now in Nova Scotia. I have a list of all their names. I have every one of them written down, so I just can't remember off the top of my head.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
you train at Halifax BJJ, who are really good friends of ours at Manimal Athletics. They've helped us out, and we have a whole bunch of because we're under Carlos. Carlos, of course, you know Carlos.
Yes.
Yeah, Carlos is amazing. So Carlos, I used to run a gym, a full-time school from 1994 to 2020, just as COVID hit. And Carlos was a member there for years. He actually was a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And so, but he, of course, he trains over in Singapore, Hong Kong. That's where he got all his rankings from. But anyway, he's a black belt, second degree black belt now, I believe. And so we're under him, but we're such good friends with Halifax BJJ. We're good friends with all the clubs, but they've been so helpful to us over the years. And so many of my members that used to belong to my school, once I closed it down, went to different schools. But at Halifax BJJ, I could probably count, I don't know, 20, 21 people that are still there training that were all members. So it's like that's where the family went, and now they're at Halifax BJJ, which is just absolutely amazing. And it's just how it's exploded is incredible.
Yes. I mean, there's so much credit to give to all these people. I mean, I see them doing it all with full-time jobs and all, and they still kind of developed such a good community, I would say.
Yep.
I never been into much into many other gyms, and I feel like so fortunate to be like the first gym I found was Halifax Brazilian Society. The whole community as jiu-jitsu community is pretty nice to me, been pretty nice. But I'm saying is the environment they have created in there
Yep.
is pretty good. I mean, I train with the killers on everyday basis, and they
Oh
all are
yeah.
in sport. I mean, the first event was like everybody showed up, and so much support for everybody. Like all the members are amazing in there, and yeah, only I can say thank you. That's all I can say to all
Yeah.
these.
Well, we're very fortunate in Nova Scotia to have so many fantastic clubs, and all of them are just so amazing. And they all have their own little things going on. But when they get together in the community, you see it, which leads me into what you're doing. So, how did you come up with? Because we have a lot of tournaments in Nova Scotia, in the Maritimes, Atlantic Canada. How did you come up with this crazy idea to do this fantastic thing you did?
So I feel like there are a lot of competitions, but if we just talk about Halifax or HRM, I can only notice like two. I would say one, but they come to our city like twice a year.
Yep.
So other than that, if I want to compete, I've been like a guy who want to compete every weekend or like at least twice a month. Because if you
Right.
want to go onto the bigger jiu-jitsu stages, world levels and all, you have to rep as much as you can. So like I have to travel to Moncton every time, and it's 3 hours drive, and it's not a really beautiful drive. So that's my first reason I tell everybody like I want to have more competitions in Halifax. I want to give the athletes from Halifax more competitions. And
Sure.
the second thing is like I come from a culture where I'm not like comparing anything. It's just like where I come from. Like we don't charge money to athletes. You can correct me if there's like a something the point I'm missing in here. We don't charge athletes to play. So that's kind of like my whole thing. Be like all these competitions and all, like they're really doing a really good job promoting the sport in their own way.
Yep.
But their business model is making money or making revenue, I would say, out of athletes, right? And selling jerseys and this and that. That's part of our company as well. But long term, I want to make uh, competing in any bracket or something. I want to make it free. It shouldn't
Right.
be $100 for a bracket, especially when I'm traveling 3 hours or this and that. I can understand if I'm going to IBJJF or ADCC. I mean, it's a big competitions, comes with prestige and all. But that's my main focus for now be like giving more competitions locally in Halifax. Second, try to not to make money out of athletes. Then there's the question like where I'm gonna make the money and how we're gonna keep this going. My whole thing is I see jiu-jitsu as an entertainment as well.
Yep.
I really see that it's a middle ground for everything, right? I don't like somebody, somebody don't like me. If we go into a fight, we both can't go to the work tomorrow. Why not have a jiu-jitsu match, right?
Right.
So in that sense, if I say it's really marketable, if you have like a little bit story behind it, I think people were gonna have same amount of fun watching a jiu-jitsu match or watching, I would say, like let's not compare right now. I know that people will get mad on me. What
Right.
I'm saying is like for the general public, right? If you go to a, for example, if you go to a competition, it happens in school or warehouse. There's 100 people competing, maybe 100 other coming to watch them, or maybe 200.
Yep.
Uh, I want to have 30 people in the bar, and I want 300 people to come see them. Uh, I'm doing my part to promote the sport into the people who are sitting on the fences. For example, some person is running, they're running 10 miles, but they always looking around to do some martial art, but they kind of like, oh, maybe next time. Same with the lifting. So I'm trying to get all those people who are interested in martial arts, they already watch UFC, but they don't do none. Like I would say UFC is like people watch it, but they never even wore the gloves. You know,
Right.
like why can't that happen? Like with jiu-jitsu, of course we want them to train. Like we are all welcoming, but even if people just want to sit and observe, I think what we are doing is a good good way to
It's
have a
fantastic.
couple of beers, right?
And
That's the
of
whole.
course, that you've heard of Fight League Atlantic.
Yes, of course,
Yes,
yes.
and one of the founders, Derek Clark, he had a submission series very much like that. That's how he started. And he would have them on stage, and there would be, they would pick the number of competitors, and people would go to like a venue like a school gym, but where there's seating or something like that. Like the Rebecca Cohen, and then people would all sit down, and he would have and he ran a number of those, and they were very successful. And then eventually he branched away from that, and then created Fight League Atlantic, him and John Foster, and now that's just blown up. It's amazing.
No, they are
So
doing. I mean, I heard a lot about the league they used to have. I mean, I never met Derek. I
yeah,
heard his name
just
everywhere. He's doing really.
another great guy.
I'm
Just
a fan of Fight Fight League Atlantic. Uh, yeah, I'm hoping to go on their show on Dartmouth. But by the way, I never been into any MMA. I never watched any MMA show live. So the Dartmouth one gonna be my first one.
good. That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, the MMA's been around in Nova Scotia for quite a long time. It started from Peter Martell at Titans. He's the father of MMA in Nova Scotia. And so but they've been running it. It's a fantastic promotion. So you'll enjoy it. I'll be there for sure. And anyway, so your first one, how did you get you had look, when I was there, I seen so many of I'll say the who's who of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, people from Cape Breton, people from Truro, people from all over. And I mean, I was standing I was right by the mat, standing right next to Josh Presley, who's another amazing instructor and
yeah,
competitor. And I just looked around the room, and I saw so many people that were here that from the community. And how did you get all these people here?
I think they love jiu-jitsu. I mean, like I can't take credit for that. It's just community itself. I think we centralized it. The
Yeah,
community is there. They love jiu-jitsu. They love each other. Uh, there was a good thing going on a Saturday night. I think they all came out to see the boys scrap, right?
yeah,
And that's pretty simple. That's what it is. I guess that's what we want to those people to come. I hope I can encourage some black belts to compete as well.
yeah,
So yeah, let's keep this party going.
yeah. It
Yeah,
would be really, I always thought it would be so amazing if we could somehow raise enough money to offer like a $10,000 championship to have any of the black belts all compete.
right. That
So
would be
right
awesome.
to the
Like
last one. That would
manufacture
just
something like
be
that.
that would the ultimate black belt challenge, just to see. That would be amazing. But
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun. I mean, I have a lot of plans for iron grappling, but like you said, like having plan and executing them is like a two different games. But we are working on something similar, like you said. I don't know if you can match the amount you said,
Oh yeah,
but
no, that
roughly
was
like that.
kind of a joke,
Yeah,
but
we're working on
yeah,
that. If we maybe till next summer, or maybe like in the winters, the competition gets pretty low as the entertaining shows, I would say.
sure.
So like my first thing is to have something planned out for the winters. I feel like if we do that pretty good, we can gather up enough funds to do something
Yep,
something like that, to have like a grand fest kind of, have where all the marine times black belts or like high level practitioners can come out and show their talent.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure. What made you choose Oasis? Because Oasis, that's a vintage bar for going to watch UFC fights. And I actually brought Hoist Gracie to Oasis one night, and he signed the wall. So when Hoist Gracie was in Halifax a number of times, I had him at my school twice, and we took him there one time.
Yeah, he
So
has there, right? I think there's a signature. I'm not
yeah, that's the night that we were
really
there, and
sure.
he signed the wall and all that stuff. It was quite a memorable evening. So, what made you choose Oasis? It's a great spot. I mean,
Yeah,
it's awesome.
it is. I mean, whenever I go in there, it's full with UFC. So I was pissed. I was like, I'm gonna I'm gonna have my own full house.
Yeah,
But they already have a UFC fan base, so I feel
yeah,
like uh, I want to grab those some of those fans.
sure.
I want to tell them like, hey, you watch all this on TV. There's a little bit like similar stuff we do there on live in Oasis. So even if we can grab those people who watch UFC but they don't watch MMA, if we get those spectators, maybe extra 50, 60 on top of whatever we can get out of jiu-jitsu community, I
Yeah,
think it's win-win situation. It's good for all the gyms. All those people gonna, if they like jiu-jitsu enough, they're gonna feel like trying it out, and then they all gonna become a part of community. It's good for the gyms. It's good for other competitions as well, I would say. And not just me. I encourage all the others. I mean, they are pros at what they do already, but I would say there's a lot of room for money to be make. I would
right,
say.
right.
Uh, all the sports has, that's my personal opinion, all the sports has to be a business at some extent. And if you can, as a promoter, if you can create that, if you can create enough curiosity, make people care enough for what's going on your show, then
Yeah,
people will go out and they'll pay. And you can make some money for yourself, and you can make some money for the athletes as well.
sure. Because I mean
Yeah.
that it was like a nice intimate setting, and like we always joke, it felt like a fight night. Like which was awesome. I mean, the crowd was into it. I mean, it was definitely warm, that's for sure, but it added atmosphere, and you did the best you could with the space you had. Now, how about the viewing? How would you address that later on, like for
Yeah,
spectators and stuff?
definitely. Are you saying the in event viewing for the each spectators?
Yeah, like at say at Oasis. So people show up and they pay their fee and they go and everybody's crammed in. Of course, grappling's on the ground, so you might be looking over. Eventually, when it grows and grows more, what's your aim as far as the viewing spectators?
Yes. So eventually we had a plan. We set up the tables and everything. We were expecting people to sit on the tables. Uh, but there was also the plan to put everything on the TVs we have inside Oasis.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that didn't went the way it should have went.
The first
But
one, there's always
yeah,
growing pains. Everybody understands that. So, I
yeah.
mean,
And at the same time, I saw people were kind of like gathering. I tried to guide them, but they were making kind of like a pit around the mat. So I
yep,
didn't try to. I let it happen how it was happening. It
sure.
was safe
First one.
enough, and I was like, that's best for us. But I know this creates like hard for people who are a little bit old, or maybe can't stand on the chairs like yet young fellas. They had some trouble with the viewing, but I'm pretty sure next time we will figure out the TVs as well.
Of
As
course.
we gonna test out again, like if people are will stay on their tables or not. But if people want to make a pit, we will accommodate that accordingly. Like we have to make some adjustments that where everybody can see everything what's going on. Maybe move the commentators from the stage to somewhere else, and then have like a curtain over there, which they have on UFC nights, and
Yeah.
then play the whole action over there as well. Something like that, because yeah, it should be figured out till next one,
Oh
because we
yeah,
have.
and whenever you have a first event, as you know, you learn from it, right? And you're like, you make notes, sit with your team after, and say, "Here's what we did right. Here's what we need to improve on," and all that stuff. So, I mean, but like I said, the main thing is the energy was fantastic. People were just, you know, cheering, and some of the competitors were just running around like someone had their shirts off and doing crazy things. And but that's great. That's you can't do that normally at a grappling tournament. So
Yes.
it really added a lot of excitement, and you had a lot of nice I'd say up and coming, because I mean I'm 57, but I mean a lot of young guys in there, up and coming fighters, right?
Yes, I mean a lot of local guys. I would say Peter Reedley, such a nice kid he is.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's 21. He put on a show every time. I when I started doing jiu-jitsu, I saw him on Breakthrough in Amherst, and he put on a show every time he get on the mats. I mean, there were so many. Paulo Fernandez, he's one of the best heavyweights around here. Roro Chan.
yeah,
I'm so glad all these guys came in and they competed on our first show. Uh, that's what kind of like motivate me. I wanna market these people, make grappling affordable, more cheaper for them to do, compete,
yeah,
and if everything goes right, maybe we can start offering some money to these people. But that's what I want to see from the athletes. Everybody have their own personality. I don't want everyone to remove their shirts and do what Pete does,
yeah.
but
That's exciting because again, you don't
uh,
normally do that in a tournament. So you paired people up, like you kind of matched them, like a fight night. You matched fighters up together, or competitors, fighters up together, right? You didn't draw names from a hat. You figured out who was
no,
going to
no,
go
no, no.
with who.
All the matchmaking were. I mean, like I always ask my buddies. I mean, Sawyer King, if you heard his name, he's a purple belt out of Halifax, Brazilian
Yeah.
Society. The guy on the commentator,
Okay.
weird. Yeah, Sawyer. I speak to him if I have a confusion. Okay, like this guy, I don't know. I never saw him rolling. Is he gonna be good for this guy? Uh, Me, Pete, couple of other guys from the gym, always ask around, like, hey, what do you think about this guy against this guy? If
Perfect.
people tell me like, oh, this is gonna be a banger, we put that together, and then we switch it up if we
Yeah.
think it's not a good match. But I'm still, I mean, like as a matchmaker, I think still a noob. I ask around. I don't wanna. Because like I said, it's only been like a 1.5 year I've been doing jiu-jitsu, and a lot of people I don't know, and I don't want to underestimate anybody. I don't want to, overrate anybody. We want to have like a good matching matches where people can stay safe as well.
Yeah.
So that all my buddies from Halifax Jiu-Jitsu, they help me with that.
Well, I'm gonna say because you're the first person to start a promotion like this, only doing jujitsu for say less than 2 years. So you're like a trailblazer. Like there's no question in the history books, you're in there because we have a lot of, like I said, we have a lot of Brazilian jiu-jitsu. We have a lot of martial arts history in Nova Scotia. I mean, there's a guy in Dartmouth that sparred with Bruce Lee. People don't even know that. So how about that? Did you know
Yeah,
that? Yeah.
Harry keep
he
amazing me
he
every time I
he
learn something
teaches
new.
karate in Dartmouth, Waichiru, Jim Maloney, and one time he was doing a sparring session with Bruce Lee. It's just there's pictures of them together. So, just we have such a history, right? And now we got, the first less than 2 years you start a promotion. That's awesome. It's fantastic. The more the better, and it gives more to the athletes, and it's just amazing. So now, just I only ask you a couple more questions, but are you now? I know you're doing another one coming up.
Yes, that's gonna. I know some people are gonna say it's too quick, but it's May
What?
23rd. I know, like you said, nobody was expecting me to do it at Oasis. So the similar way, everybody were probably expecting me to do this every 3 months. But our thing is to we want to make it a weekly thing. Uh, Not right now. Maybe we
Yeah,
will do every 3 weeks or every 2 weeks. But Oasis, I want to make it, let's say, like if we compare it to UFC, I would say our apex. That's where we want to have our weekly shows. We want to keep the brackets going. Eventually, I want to have rankings for each division, and we need more shows to keep it going, to build the story. Then for the bigger shows, uh, we are working on something big for this summer. Uh, Not to say the exact venues, but
No, of course. No, no, keep it all a secret, but you're working
yeah,
on things.
we want to explore the region. I would say, let's say something in the Garrison grounds, like a
Right.
festival, like something like that is kind of like really excites me. And in
Yeah,
summer where there's less chances of rain ruining everything, I would think we can pull it off, like having some sort of festival, have like a full 8-10 mats, all every competitor is welcome. Like I'll do a open, like all kids, all teens, all brackets will be available, and then we can have like vendors, all the eating stuff available, and then we can create like something festival type for jiu-jitsu. And that's these kind of things I want to do uh, as we grow.
of
And
course.
that's why we are trying to do it as quickly as we can, because Oasis in a long term we want to keep it as a weekly thing. We want
Right.
to have like a smaller shows here, and then the bigger shows we're gonna, all of our championship and everything, those probably gonna happen in the, you can say, pay-per-view.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, people love jujitsu and people love the people that love jujitsu. So, I mean, yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
it's awesome. It's awesome. So, getting back to you real quick, are you doing both gi, no gi, like yourself? Let's ask yourself this personal question. Do you like gi? Do you prefer no gi or
I'm a nogi guy, I would say.
what's that again? Sorry.
I'm a nogi guy
Okay.
mostly.
Yeah.
Yes, talking about the competition as a promoter, everything at Oasis will be Nogi. I mean, mostly it will be Nogi. But whenever we do any open, we will involve everything in it. We will
Right.
do and Nogi's brackets, but that's still can change. It's subject to change
Sure.
because
Of course. Of course.
I
It's
yes,
growing.
I'm a Nogi guy. It's nothing against Gi, but I just and I'm a blue belt. If I go against a black belt in Nogi, I can have hit my couple of escapes there and feel like a man. In Nogi, in Gi, I feel helpless.
Yeah,
So
that's okay. It's good. It's no gi or submission grappling's been around the province since early 90s. So I mean, even though Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the gi part is, is like mid 90s, 95, 96. Submission grappling, we know like Olympic wrestling's been around, but submission grappling, just no gi, it's been around since the early 90s. So there's a long history of that too in the province. So, and with little tournaments, mostly inside clubs and then they grew into like maybe like a high school gym. They've had tournaments and stuff, and then submission arts. I can't no, it's Submission Series Atlantic by Derek Clark. That's his event that he put on, and now you're doing yours. So I mean, and obviously with I think Submission Series Atlantic just recently changed names.
I think it's SAA now, Submission Atlantic, something.
Yeah, but I think they just
Submission
switched
Art.
with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Submission
but I
Art.
think they switched the Graham. Oh, what's his last name? Anyway, sorry, my brain is on
No,
freeze
I
here.
know who you're talking about. Graham. Is he a black belt?
Yes, he is. Yeah, he's
I know who
fantastic.
you're talking about. Yeah.
He just changed the name. I think it's Valor now, Valor Jiu-Jitsu. He just changed the promotion, the company's name. So his first tournament's coming up, I think, in July. I should know. It's on my list here. I try to keep track of all that, but I didn't make any notes. I normally make no notes when I do these interviews, so I prefer it that way. So, so basically, your goal is you're just working, you're going to jujitsu, and you're going to work on these promotions.
Yeah, that's my life for now.
That's it.
Yeah, I get up, do do some workout, do my stuff, and then in the evening I'm in the gym back again.
Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Well, I don't know, man. If there's anything else you wanted to add, I know it's a quick interview, but I really now we
I have one
know.
question for you.
Oh,
I,
okay, let's do it.
yeah, I want you to the same similar way you did it. I want you to tell me about yourself because I try to look around and everything. We follow each other for a long time.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm a really new. Consider me one of your students. Tell me about your compliments.
It's a long story, but okay, I'll give you the quick version. So I started Japanese jiu-jitsu in 1975. So I started martial arts when I was 6. I wish I could say I was born in a Shaolin temple, but I wasn't. I just started doing jiu-jitsu because my brother skated. He was a hockey skater, and I can't skate, so my father put me in martial arts. But my main style is Japanese jiu-jitsu, Yoshinryu. It's a traditional style. But in the early 80s, around 83, 84, I started kickboxing, North American kickboxing here in Halifax. And then I got into amateur competitions with that. And then in the 90s, the early 90s, I got involved with what's called shoot wrestling. Now, there's shoot wrestling in the United States that's very popular, mostly by a guy by the name of Eric Paulson. But I did a Canadian version of shoot wrestling under a gentleman named Ron Beer from Ontario. And that's when I started promoting shoot wrestling or submission grappling in the province. And then in the 90s, I took a seminar with a gentleman by the name of Dan Inosanto. I don't know if you're familiar with that name, but Dan Inosanto, this was in 1993. Uh, he's the most overall knowledgeable martial artist in the world, in my opinion. Not only is he Bruce Lee's best friend and top student, he's an instructor in like 30 different styles of martial arts. And he's still alive today. He lives in California. He's 90 years old. He started doing seminars in the 80s. He'd travel every weekend all over the United States teaching seminars, then all over the world. He's got, anyway, he's also a third degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu under the Machados. Anyway, you look him up, he's online. He's world famous. Anyway, I just took a seminar with him, which changed my approach to martial arts because I love martial arts. I love all martial arts, and so I started getting involved with Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do, or it's also known as Jun Fan Kung Fu, Filipino martial arts, Muay Thai, and then I eventually got certified in those arts as well. My instructor, he's in New Brunswick, Rob Doley. And so I created an academy. I started teaching when I was 16. Yes, I was 16 and started teaching. It was very stupid because I was very immature and didn't know anything, but I was 16 and I thought I knew it all. But in 1994, in my early 20s, I opened a full-time academy on Roby Street in Halifax, the Atlantic Jiu-Jitsu Academy. And we had Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, and then eventually we had kickboxing, and then we had uh, submission grappling. And then I moved over across the street to was called the Bloomfield Recreation Center. That's famous because that's where Sindel Boxing Club was, and the Metro Amateur Wrestling Club was in the same spot we were. And that's where Muay Thai started basically in Nova Scotia. Muay Thai started there, submission grappling. Anyway, we just built that academy up. And then after 11 years, I moved to a couple different locations. And then lastly, I ended up on what's called Hood Street. That's just up from Halifax BJJ. That's in between Windsor and Kemp Road. That's what's called Maritime Jiu Jitsu now. So that building was for years a Taekwondo school owned by Mike Dory. And then I rented it out and we had created a huge academy. We had like 12 instructors. We had all different styles of martial arts because I love martial arts and my goal was to have a martial arts school. We had Brazilian Jiu Jitsu there as well. And something that I regret was I didn't, even though I had Brazilian Jiu Jitsu since about 2007 in my school, I didn't train it. Though we had people in there teaching blue belts, they were blue belts. They started as blue belts from Titans. And because I was learning Muay Thai, Jin Fan Kung Fu, Jeet Kune Do, Filipino martial arts, those were my favorite arts. So we had Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. I only would go once in a while, but eventually the club grew. It was quite large, and then COVID hit, of course, and in 2020, and then so we had to shut down. Now, I won't even get into it, but this is a long story. It's almost another discussion you could have. But when you run a martial arts school, there's a lot of good things, but there's also a lot of negative things that come with it. Problems, politics, 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 problems, and it really gets on, it can create a lot of issues, stress wise. So we had an amazing school. COVID hit, and I decided just to kind of take a break. I live in Lucasville on the Lucasville Road, and down from me, 2 minutes and 30 seconds, my friend built a gym, Manimal Athletics Training Center. He built a gym, 2,000 square foot facility, fully equipped. And he lives there on site as well on the property. He's got a house. And he's like, Ray, come here with me, help me run the school. So he opened up his school. I help him. We started kids programs, Japanese jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, Muay Thai. And then I asked Carlos and Joel from Halifax BJJ if we could start a Brazilian jiu-jitsu program. And of course, Joel, Jacquard, and Carlos were all for it. And so they helped us establish a program there. And so anyway, and that's just kind of how it exploded. And of course, I started doing Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. So I'm a purple belt now. I've been a purple belt for about a year. I call myself a beginner purple belt. I really think in my head I should still be a blue belt. Um, I love Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, but I'm a recreational stylist. I used to compete years ago in judo because I did judo for years too. It's another long story. And submission grappling, kickboxing. I did all that competition stuff, but now I'm just training for fun. And
Oh,
so, but we bring people in all the time from the community, black belts, brown belts, anybody that wants to come in, teach class. Carlos comes out, once a month whenever he can, helps us out. And so, most of our students in our Brazilian Jiu Jitsu program are usually over 40, over 50, and we're training for the love of it. Like on Saturday, we did a full hour of rolling, but the last 5 minute round, you were allowed to strike. You're allowed to slap the person in the face or punch them in the side. Oh yeah, that's because we still
I'll
want to
ask you
kind of.
if we can do it in our competition class.
No, but yeah, but we're not worried about competition. So we're like, okay, if you're in the street, and again, that's a whole discussion too. But if you're in like, floor walking, if you're in the street and you get on the ground, we all know you're trying to control somebody, which is amazing. Hopefully you're by yourself. But if they have someone that might
Yeah.
interfere, you're going to get hit in the head, right? So, I mean, again, that's a whole discussion, and there's lots of ways to work around that. But what's so fun about your partner gets you in a triangle choke and you reach down and slap them in the face like the way they used to do it in Brazil, right? Anyway, just once in a while we'll do that, but
That's
it's
good.
fun.
It's like fun.
It is fun. So anyway, and I got to travel. I went to Poland once. I was a representative for Canada. I went to train at the Olympic Judo Center there one time. I trained with the Russian Sambo team and all that stuff. I never went to the Olympics. I was just invited to go train there. And then actually next week I'm heading to Quebec. I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but where Quebec City is, right on the opposite side, there's a little place called Levy's or Levy's. Anyway, there's a big martial arts convention with about 1,000 martial arts students, instructors from all over the world, and I'm going to go teach there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'm
Awesome.
going to be doing Filipino martial arts, which is weapons based. And so anyway, that's it. There's more to it, but that's basically the end of it. I just train and have fun. That's all I do now. So
Awesome. Thank you so much. I mean,
yeah.
like, I asked around. I was like, somebody's asking me for an interview. I mean, like, we chat a little bit in the comments and all, but whoever I asked, they're like, he's an old schooler martial art guy. I was like, okay, I'll
Yeah.
get this story then.
Yeah. Well, now do you know Scott McMillan from Halifax BJJ?
uh, I might have known them by face, but I don't can't recall the
Oh,
name.
that's okay. That's all right. Because he teaches the master's class on Saturday. He used to teach at my school, Bushido Kai. Mark Konechny. Do you know Mark Konechny? He's a black belt. You might know him anyway. That's okay. Don't worry about it. So
Yeah.
Mark Konechny, who trains at Halifax BJJ, he's also a third degree black belt in Japanese Jiu-Jitsu under me. You know, Jack Cameron, Jack Cameron, you might have mentioned him, bald headed fella. He
I've
supports.
heard the name, but like I said, I probably don't know
That's
them.
okay. There's another guy. He's a fourth degree black belt in judo and a black belt, second degree black belt in BJJ. He used to teach at my school. So, like I said, when I go to Halifax BJJ, there's so many people there, like Russ, Colin. I mean, there's so many. Joel trained
I
there
know.
for a very
Yeah.
short time. Chris Calades trained there for a short time. But there's so many people that used to train there, and I mean, it's just, the history's crazy. But I have love and respect for them all. They're just amazing. It's just amazing seeing the community grow up.
Definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are letting me being a part of this
No, man,
community.
it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Now, just getting back to your nationality and stuff, we have a new, I don't know if you know, we have a new community center that just opened up the road down the road from us. And now I'm going to correct me if I'm wrong. I could have the nationality incorrect, but it's a Sikh slash Punjabi center.
Definitely, that's I'm Sikh. I'm from Punjab and I'm Sikh.
Okay. So,
Yes.
yes. Anyway, there's a center on the Lucasville Road and they do martial arts there. And they were supposed
Awesome.
to
I
have a
didn't know
big
that. I
parade.
got those guys. I'm
Yeah,
like
like
on the same
it's
time I'm trying to grow this in our community as well. Like talking about India, talking about Punjab. Punjab is on the north side of India,
okay.
so we have our own grappling style. It's called kabaddi. It's like a team member game. It's not like jiu-jitsu one on one, but it's like some sort of grappling involved in it.
Yep.
Uh, but all these people who are coming in here, they kind of like stressed out with the job, stressed out with their immigration status and all. So my whole thing is to be like, get them, hey, like it's all good, life's gonna happen, but let's
Right.
get you into martial arts, right? It might help you. Uh, I mean, like we for India, I really hate cricket. They have ruined all of the other other sports for us. I mean, there's a lot of money. It's really famous in India, but that's all the people care about, to be honest.
Right.
So it kind of like make me sad. Be like, hey, there's so many other sports we can do good in, especially wrestling, martial arts, and there are people who can actually do it, but there's no sport in India for these martial arts by the government. And one, if we talk about the community who are living in here, they are stuck in their day-to-day life. So if there's someone trying to do this already next to your house, I'll definitely visit them.
Yeah, I'll send you the link to it. Now,
Please, thank you.
correct me if I'm wrong, Buddha Dharma was from India. Is that
Buddha?
yes, Buddha
Yes,
Dharma.
he later
And
traveled. I'm not really familiar with his whole history, but yes, he was from
yeah,
India.
and he traveled to China and he
Yes.
taught the monks exercises. You know, this is a rough, very basic description, but he taught the exercises to the Shaolin monks who eventually became Kung Fu and then bang, you know, all that stuff, migrated to China. Anyway, it's so, you know, it's fantastic history. If you dig real deep, you
Yes.
know, where does it come from, right? You know, just
Believe
like,
wrestling is part of every community. That's like I might be wrong, but like any culture you pick up, I think you can find wrestling in there. It's the
yeah.
old
There's
sport. So,
wrestling in Filipino martial arts called Dumog. It's Filipino grappling.
so
So I mean, you know, it's just amazing. Anyway, okay, my friend, listen. Uh what happens is real quick, of course, I'm still recording this. I'll post it on YouTube. It's only a small page, so it's not like it gets a lot of hits, but I can share it on Nova Scotia BJJ Combat Sports, whatever. And it's just now people kind of get to know what you're all about and what you're doing. And you know, my recommendation to everybody is just fully support what you're doing. I mean, it's a fantastic adventure, and you know, I wish you like tremendous success. I really do.
thank you so much, Ray. And nothing to do with the small audience. It's a really great opportunity for me to say my mind, and it's my first one, so I'm gonna remember this.
Okay.
And just one thing I want to say. May 23rd, 5 p.m. We are putting on another show. We have white and blue mostly on this card, and they're gonna put on the show. I really enjoy watching white and blue. I feel like everybody else
They're
do.
very important.
So there's some other names,
That's the
some
future,
performers.
right?
Yes, so there's some other names as well. We are having as super fights, but mainly most of the talent is gonna be white and blue, and we are trying to create a 16-man bracket, giving away $300 whoever wins. And
Nice.
yeah, May 23rd, 5 p.m. Oasis. Thank you.
Okay, that's it. I'll hit stop. We'll chat for 2 seconds. And
For
okay,
sure.
guys, it's Ray, the gray-haired guy in a gi. I used to do a lot of these interviews, and I just stopped because I got busy and had a stroke and all that stuff. It's another story. Don't get Ezekiel choked and have a stroke. But anyway, guys, we're signing off.